This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Now I can do it. Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. I had to unmute myself before I could say anything. We here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Game Day pregame show. But for your most up-to-date sports content and betting odds, make sure you head over to the Game Day. The link is in the description of this video. There's a link to their YouTube page, and there's a link to their website. So make sure you go check them out. We got Josh, we got Andy, we got Steph. We're going to break down this game versus the Milwaukee Bucks. Ladies and gentlemen, a revenge game versus the Milwaukee Bucks. It's going to be exciting tonight. I want to get this win, but let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Steph, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing good. Shout out to you, Sam, Andy, Josh, the chat. I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to it. It seemed like it's been a busy week. I woke up, I said, oh, the Knicks play tonight too.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a revenge game for them. So it's going to be important that we come out sharp and stay sharp.
Yeah, I agree with you. Definitely a revenge game for them. And they're kind of desperate, but we'll get into that. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, like Steph said, this is a revenge game for them. And, Knicks got to keep their guard up. It's nothing else. We need the W's. I think they might need a little bit more. They expect it to be way higher than they are at this point.
Exactly.
So, like you said, Sim, versus desperate teams, you got to use desperate measures. So let's see how Tibbs does and how the whole squad comes with what kind of energy.
Yeah, for real. Josh, what's popping, man?
Salute everyone. Salute the NBK panel. Sam, Steph, Andy. Good to see you guys again. I'm looking forward to the Knicks continuing, playing some good basketball, getting back to New York Knicks basketball. The last game, we were able to, beat up on Philadelphia. And a lot of people didn't like the way the fans celebrated after the game. So this is another chance for the Knicks to just continue to keep building and building that camaraderie amongst that starting lineup. Let's see if Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker can snap out of whatever funk that they're in and try to put some points on the board and help us get a W.
Yeah, once again, that starting lineup may be a little bit different tonight based on injuries. And obviously the Milwaukee Bucks are dealing with injuries, but the Knicks may have some injuries tonight as well. All right, looking at the official NBA injury report that came out at 1:30. Now, obviously, this is updated, every hour. So there'll be a new update at 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, 7:30. Well, not 7:30, but up until game time. All right, Dante DiVincenzo, he's out for the Bucks. Brook Lopez is out. Chris Middleton is out. For the Knicks, Nerlens Noel is questionable. And Mitchell Robinson is questionable. Okay, so if those two guys are out, obviously that leaves us small with Taj Gibson most likely playing at the center position. Mitchell Robinson's one of our best rebounders. Nerlens Noel isn't really one of our best rebounders, but he's a shot blocker and protects the basketball rim. I hate when both of those two guys are out. I love when Taj Gibson plays, but I don't like when those two guys are out, because our shot blocking is kind of devoid. I don't know if devoid is the right or is a word, but void.
It is. Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't know. Steph, what do you think? Obviously, we'll probably start Taj, but then I guess we get a heavy dose of small ball, or do we see Jericho Sims?
As much as I like Jericho Sims, I think they play Giannis at the center. And I think he's going to be a load for Taj. He's definitely going to be a load for Jericho Sims. I don't think we have anybody that can guard him, but I still think we'll be okay. I mean, he can score 40 and we'll still be okay as long as we hold the other guys, the other guys down. My concern is the perimeter defense, with Drew Holiday back, right? Probably at full strength now. I think when we played him the last time, he only played like 20 games or so.
Right.
So whoever we play at that center spot, we're going to be overmatched, I think. I don't think we're going to be able to match his numbers. But we got to hold the rest of them.
Yeah. It's we'll see if they play him at the center spot. I don't know if they're going to play him at the center spot or not. I know, I think a couple of games ago,
the brother, the Nassus
played at the center spot, I think. Yeah. So
yeah,
I don't know, against Philadelphia last night, actually. They played Philadelphia last night. Bobby Portis was at the center spot.
Okay.
And Giannis was back at the power forward positions. So they're probably mixing and matching based on lineups.
Right.
So who knows what they're thinking tonight against the Knicks. But what I have down as the starting lineup, projected starting lineups for both squads, for the New York Knicks, Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, and most likely Taj Gibson if neither
That's
one
a
of
better
Nerlens
matchup.
Noel or Mitchell Robinson is unable to go.
Right.
That's he's not going to trust Jericho Sims at this point. So it would likely be Taj Gibson.
Right.
And then for the Milwaukee Bucks, you got Drew Holiday, George Hill, Grayson Allen, Giannis, and then Bobby Portis. And I tell you what, even if Mitchell Robinson or Nerlens Noel starts, I think Bobby Portis is still a tough matchup because he can go outside and shoot, spread that floor out. He takes a shot blocker out of the lane in either Mitchell Robinson or Nerlens Noel. But I want to break down some of these matchups. How do you feel, Andy, about this Kemba Walker and Drew Holiday? And then I'll come back around to everybody.
Listen, I just love Drew Holiday. I wanted him on the Knicks for years now. He's my type of point guard. Doesn't have to score that much. Solid defender for all general. So, I love this guy. And no offense to Kemba. I think Kemba doesn't stand a chance with him on defense because he's bigger, he's stronger. And at this point, Kemba's lateral movement is basically gone. So I think it might be even faster on the move. So I think unless Kemba has a hot night, this matchup is lost for the Knicks.
Okay. All right. What do you think, Josh? And Drew Holiday's a good defender, so he's going to make it tough on Kemba.
Oh, yeah.
Really. Yep. I totally agree with Andy. Really, really good defender. Not only that, he definitely can knock down that mid-range. He's a killer in the mid-range. And I think he was a big spark off the bench last time for Milwaukee, last time we played them. So I don't think Kemba Walker stands a chance in this matchup. Hopefully Kemba can knock down some shots, but if that's not happening, then this matchup is definitely one-sided. So I definitely agree with Andy on that.
Steph, any thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, I kind of disagree with Andy. He said that Drew Holiday was a solid defender. He is an elite defender. And I think that Kemba is going to have problems in this matchup. We may have to, like we've been doing, go a little bit more with roles in those situations in which he's outmatched. And not to say that Drew Holiday can't guard Rose, but I think we stand a better chance of getting something out of the matchup if Rose is playing more minutes. But yeah, Drew Holiday has this.
I would like to see anytime that Kemba Walker is going up against a good defender, I'd like to see the Knicks use a lot of screens for Kemba. Send him off 2 screens to get the basketball. Try to get him in open space where he can catch the ball and move and not have to, I know Kemba's game is kind of to use angles, but I think if you get him the ball in open space, he still has enough speed to get to the cup. And if you're sending Drew Holiday off of a couple of screens, it's going to make him work and, maybe even make his body a little bit sore from hitting so many screens. So I'm talking off-ball screens. I'm talking, obviously, on-ball screens. Just screen the daylights out of the guy and to give Kemba a chance to get Jrue Holiday off of him, get Kemba into that mid-range spot. Hopefully he'll have enough speed. If a big comes out, switches off onto him, he can beat him to the basket. They don't have... Well, I mean, if Giannis is hopefully spread out, if he's guarding Julius Randle, and Bobby Portis might be lurking somewhere around there, but he's not a great shot blocker. Maybe you can get Kemba inside a little bit if you use screens.
Right.
I'm a little bit just more concerned with Kemba guarding Jrue Holiday. I'm concerned with Kemba guarding anyone because of his stature and, he doesn't have the lateral movement to guard these point guards, right? That's why one of my keys to the game is defending the point of attack. We got to figure out a way to do that. Jrue Holiday, he's been back for a few games. He's going to be due to break out for a big game at some point. I just hope it's not tonight against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden against Kemba Walker. You know what I mean? But he's going to be due to have a really good game. And, he's a guy, he never was a super high scorer, but he can light it up, when he gets after it and when he gets hot, he can score on you. I think that's going to be a tough matchup for Kemba Walker.
Yeah.
Especially after, the video clip came out where, RJ was like, oh, Jrue Holiday can't hold Kemba or whatever he said. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Really?
But,
I mean, this was before the last game. Okay. You know what I mean? But, who knows? Maybe Jrue Holiday, he probably doesn't care, but maybe he remembers that. It's like, okay, the Knicks won the last game. Well, I'm going to be on my get-backs tonight. But he did. He said that. It was before the game, and they asked Kemba Walker about Jrue Holiday coming back, and RJ came behind him, was like, well, Jrue Holiday can't hold Kemba either, or something like that. We'll see.
Yeah, well, RJ didn't watch the finals. Last year.
Right. We'll see. Should be a good game tonight, though, or good matchup tonight. Evan Fournier and George Hill. Right, George Hill is your crafty, just crafty guard. He can, he's one of those guards that, you kind of just trust. He can get it done. He's not going to blow you out the water with speed or with points or with athleticism, but he's smart and he can knock down the three ball. He knows how to get into the lane. He can run the screen and roll. He can kind of do everything for you out there on the floor. Evan Fournier, he's a good defender. Evan Fournier should win this matchup, though, scoring-wise at least. And defend. He should be able to defend George Hill. George Hill's not going to do a lot of blowing by you and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I think Evan Fournier should win this matchup.
Yeah.
Andy, what do you think?
Listen, I always go after Fournier, betting on him instead of the opposing shooting guard. But like you said, Sim, this game, at least scoring-wise, I can't imagine if George Hill has more points than Fournier. I'm going to have to turn on that, bro. Because, like you said, George Hill, he's not an aggressive player. He can do everything fundamentally and is more of a team player. I don't think he's that kind of aggressive player to get, go after Fournier like that, like in a scoring battle, shot for shot. So, I can't imagine Fournier loses this battle with George Hill.
Yeah, I agree. But the thing is, because of the way the Knicks offense is being ran right now, let me not even say the way it's being ran, and just the guys not being comfortable with one another yet, you just never know when one of our guys is not going to show up or be there. Hopefully this ain't the night for Evan Fournier. Hopefully it's not the night for any of them. But Josh, what do you think?
So in the last Milwaukee Bucks game, I believe that the Bucks had Grayson Allen at the 2 and Pat Connaughton at the 3. They had Jrue Holiday coming off the bench. I can't imagine that Holiday won't be starting now. It's been a few games, so I expect Holiday to definitely get that start at the point guard.
Yeah.
But if Fournier needs to win any matchup, it has to be this one. If George Hill is going to be that person that he goes up against. The last game, I think it was a combination of Nwora off the bench, Pat Connaughton, and Grayson Allen absolutely lit up R.J. Barrett and Evan Fournier. Absolutely lit him up from three. So we got to be able to win those key matchups right there on the wing and at the two-guard position. And we got to be able to prevent these guys from knocking down these shots. There's no reason why these guys were just as hot as they were in that last game. So hopefully Fournier can give us something defensively. I expect his shot to come around at some point. But defensively, we just got to do better and stop these wings from making all these three-pointers.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the story of the season so far. Stopping these wings from lighting us up from the 3-point line. I don't know if it's going to change, but I guess we'll find out. Steph, any thoughts on that matchup? And then we can move into RJ Barrett and Grayson Allen.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of them. I think Fournier has the advantage. I also don't see George Hill as being a very aggressive player in terms of like trying to get into the lane. He'll take the open shots if they come his way. And given our perimeter defense and how we have to rotate, he might get some open threes. But for the most part, Evan Fournier should win this matchup.
Yeah. Now, what about RJ and Grayson Allen?
I want to say RJ, but that last game, Grayson Allen was on point. So, one of the things I said early in the season when RJ Barrett we saw he was doing well defensively, it's how do you do that game in and game out? That's the hard part. Right. Having a good defensive game at one game is one thing, but every night it's a different challenge. And he's trying to score as well. So playing both sides of the ball is not easy, and be efficient, I should say. So I think this is going to be a challenge for RJ Barrett to have an efficient game offensively and put some pressure on Grayson Allen. I'm going to give RJ the edge, but he's going to have to be super sharp today.
Yeah, and Grayson Allen is one of those, he's going to, hit you with a couple elbows and knees and do some things like that. He's going to play you, I don't want to say dirty, but he's going to play you aggressively, defensively, kind of guy that can get under your skin. You know what I mean? And, RJ normally keeps his cool. I think I've only seen RJ get maybe one tech from losing his cool since he's been in the league, I think. So I'm not worried about Grayson Allen getting under his skin, but, I'll be watching that matchup just because Grayson Allen can do, he does little things like that can get under your skin and, he try to take you out the game mentally in that aspect. Andy, your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, well, from the whole Knicks squad, I think RJ might have this revenge mentality versus Grayson Allen. I don't think fans, NBA, Knicks fans, Buck fans were thinking that Grayson Allen is going to have a game like that versus the Knicks. So I think, this is going to be a revenge game for RJ. That's why he, like Steph said, he will come out sharp. And I'm not saying on the offensive end. I just think that RJ is going to be concentrated on the defense just to lock Grayson Allen up, because that was borderline humiliating, to get that many points versus RJ that said, he wants to be an all defender this season. So, he just, like Steph said, he just lit him up. And that's not a good thing, versus, I bet you that they weren't even mentioned in the same sentence before the season happened. And that matchup went totally south for RJ in that game. So I think he's going to be, double concentrated this time around. And on the offense, listen, we saw that RJ's drives to the hoop, they're deadly. He cuts through the defense through so many teams that I think he's so good that he can do it versus anyone. So if there's not going to be a weak side help, from a center or from a power forward to get that block on RJ, I think he can go basically around anyone in the league. So, I think he can use that. And that sharp shooting 3-point from RJ is when it's falling is also good for him, and easier for him to get to the hoop. So
Yeah,
if those two offensive skill sets work in one game for RJ, I think he can go for 30 easy.
Okay, and I think RJ's. It's funny to say it because it's only 11 games into the season, but even in that game, I mean, he played well in that previous game against the Bucks, but I think he's even a different player now with a more aggressive mindset now than he was then as far as scoring the basketball. Grayson Allen in that first game, he had 22 points, 5 rebounds. He was 8 for 12 from the field. He was 6 for 9 from the 3-point line. All right, RJ Barrett, he had 20 points. He was 8 for 21 from the field and 2 for 7 from the 3-point line. But he had 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. He didn't shoot as well as Grayson Allen. I think RJ is going to come out with a different mentality tonight. He's already, like I said, just playing more aggressive on the basketball. So I think he's going to come out with a different mentality. And he remembers that matchup. But Grayson Allen is playing well. Now, he had 25 points last night against Philadelphia.
He might be on a groove.
He might be in a groove. You know what I mean? His exact stats last night, he shot the ball very well last night. His exact stats last night, 25 points, 61.5% from the field. He was 8 for 13, and he was 5 for 9 from the 3-point line, 55.6%, and he was 100% from the free throw line. So, he's a guy that's playing good basketball right now. And he's averaging 15.5 points per game on the season, 3.8 rebounds. So he's definitely somebody that the Knicks got to pay attention to and look out for in this game. He's shooting 45% from the field. He's shooting 41.5% from the 3-point line. So we'll see if RJ Barrett can be on his, have his defensive hat on tonight and try to shut him down. I don't want to say shut him down, but make it really, really tough for Grayson Allen. Josh, any thoughts on that matchup?
So I'm not concerned about RJ Barrett's offense. I think RJ Barrett, he had a lot of wide open looks at the rim that he just couldn't be able to convert. Even though he is getting to the rim, it seems to be at ease. Sometimes he doesn't go up as strong as I would like him to go up with the basketball. And that's what contributes to him missing some of those bunnies, easy layups and attempts at the rim. Also, he's been getting wide open 3-point opportunities that he's just not knocking down. So I'm not really concerned about that too much. I think that ultimately will fall. But defensively, RJ Barrett hasn't been our best defender. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I mean, New Orleans, the kid against him in New Orleans lit him up. You had kid we're talking about right now, Grayson Allen, lit him up. You had Ricky Rubio in the last game, even though Ricky Rubio was just hot against everyone, lit him up. We have really no, that guy on the wing. We don't have that wing defender right now. We were talking about it, Steph, you mentioned it, RJ Barrett doing it for a couple games and it not being consistent. I just want to see that start to become more consistent so we can depend on him to make a stop when it counts. But lately he hasn't been doing that. So I'm looking forward to RJ Barrett actually doing that and stopping Grayson Allen. I don't want Grayson Allen to score over 10 points this game. I want RJ Barrett to step up and take that role and be that wing stopper that he wants to be. But so far, lately, he has not been doing that.
It's a tough task because that wing position is probably your most talented position in the NBA. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a tough task. And you need help from your teammates too, man. You know what I mean? You got to have some help from your teammates. Steph, I think you're muted. Looked like you were getting ready. You were saying something, but I think you're muted.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he has been our best wing defender, and I think that's just letting you know where we at as far as wing defense is, right? But I'm not going to say he's been terrible. It's going to take some time to become a two-way player. It's just going to take some time to be able to be efficient on offense and a shutdown defender on defense. That's a lot of energy in a game, right? So just like it took him some time, and he's still rounding into shape in terms of being more consistent offensively. I think it's the same thing defensively. Every night it's a different challenge, and it's hard to lock in on both sides of the ball until you've had some time in this league. So, I mean, I think it's a challenge for all of us, and I think it's going to take some time for him to be this two-way player that he wants to be. We're going to get into the next matchup because Randall has to step it up defensively, more so than RJ, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is the matchup right here: Julius Randle and Giannis. You know, this is the matchup. How much time will they spend on one another? I don't know, but you know that they're going to spend some time at least in that fourth quarter guarding one another. Giannis is a good defender. Julius Randle has proven one-on-one he can be a good defender. He's got to work on the rotation defense, right? But this is, for me, this is my key matchup of the game. And you know, I might as well swing that on over there and take a look at it. You know, when you're looking at these two players, you know, Julius Randle, he's averaging 22.5 points per game, 11 rebounds, 5.5 assists. He's shooting 43.2% from the field, 36.4% from three, and 81% from the free throw line. You got Giannis, he's averaging 27.6 points per game, 11.5 rebounds, 5.8 assists. He's shooting 50% from the field, or 50.7% from the field, shooting 27.7% from three, and 68.6% from the free throw line. If Julius Randle was shooting a little bit better from the field, he might be averaging, 28 points per game, and their numbers would basically cancel each other out. You know what I mean? Giannis is averaging a few more points. Giannis is just a load to handle, going to the basket. He's not going to shoot it from the outside, but he's proven that he's capable of knocking it down. Right? He's capable of doing that. This is just a tough matchup for anyone in the NBA. And, for Julius Randle, a guy that does struggle with rotations, now you got to deal with a guy like Giannis tonight. And then also still worry about the rotations because the guards aren't keeping guys in front of them. It can be tough. It can be a real tough matchup for Julius Randle. Drew Holiday is going to be better tonight, I think, than he was last game. So he may be getting into the lane. It's going to be a tough one, I think. In the previous game, Giannis versus the Knicks had 25 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. He shot 41% from the field and 28.6% from three. Julius Randle had 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists. And he shot much better. He shot 50% from the field and 33% from three. Giannis is going to be looking to, he's going to be on a few get-backs tonight too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, we need Randle to step in and be the same Randle from the previous game. Don't expect that Giannis is only going to score 25 tonight. He may be scoring 30, but we need Randle to match the output. That's what I think.
Right.
I think we need Randle to match that output. Steph, any comments you want to make there?
Yeah, I mean, I think if anyone needs to, or the next person, I should say, that needs to become a two-way player, it's Randle. And I know that's a lot of work too, to be able to be the number one scorer on a team, or one of the scorers on the team, and also be able to defend at a high level. And that's the challenge. If anything, for me, that would be the challenge for Randle. I think he's a very good on-ball defender when he's engaged, but off the ball, he's a mess. He just is. He just allows people to go right by him. Doesn't try to. Taking a charge might be asking too much, but sometimes there's enough time for you to rotate over and just make the guy make another pass, and he just doesn't do that. And I think on this team, with our perimeter defense being the way it is, a lot more people are getting into the lane. That means there's a lot more rotations, and he has to be better.
Yeah, I agree 100%. He's got to be better, and whoever is rotating to cover his man when he rotates has to be better, but he's got to be better on those rotations. Andy, thoughts about this matchup?
Yeah, yes, I got a couple of ideas here. Usually, if I was an NBA coach playing versus the Bucks, I would try to build a wall, like I was saying before Game 1 and stuff like that. But like Steph said, Julius Randle is a good on-ball defender, and Giannis doesn't play that much off the ball. So this, I understand that fans are, in fear that Giannis might light us up. Then again, if Julius would concentrate on defending Giannis alone without switching up and rotating, this might not be a bad matchup for us. Then again, only thing that I could be afraid of, that he can get in early foul trouble. And that would be a mess, not only for the defense, but also for the offense. Then to switch it up in the last game versus the Bucks, I really liked how Nerlens Noel played versus Giannis. I know that was his first game. He brought energy. And, it might have been, maybe a little bit blinding me because he had basically the most energy and hustle in him from the whole Knicks squad. But I really think, that he held his ground versus Giannis quite well, and Giannis having 25 points is like, any other main scorer having like 12 or 15 points. So I was happy with Netherlands, guarding Giannis in that first game. Then again, Netherlands is only questionable, so we can't count on him, to play a full game and start or whatever. But I think the Knicks play really good and match up really good versus the Bucks. And even if it doesn't look great on the starting lineups and on the predictions, I think we have their number kind of. Last season we beat them. I understand that they were undermanned and stuff like that. This time, same thing, because 2 starters are missing in Lopez and Middleton. But listen, if the Knicks take a W, it's going to be in the records in the books. So it might be something like that. And I really think that, putting everything aside, I think the Knicks feel really comfortable versus the Bucks.
Okay. All right. Josh, any thoughts on this matchup?
So in the last game, Julius Randle won that matchup. No question about it. He won the matchup over Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis wasn't able to do a lot of the things that he normally is able to do because of what Julius Randle was doing. As far as the last 2 games, I can't defend someone's lack of effort, right? So Julius Randle had a few games where the effort just didn't seem to be there. He wasn't really engaged as much. But lately, in the last couple of games, Julius Randle, that effort has been there, right? And we've seen Julius Randle make some key defensive plays at the end of the games to help us win, not just what he did on offense, but also on defense. I do agree that he needs to get better on defense, but I'm willing to give him a little bit of a pass because of what you guys were talking about earlier, the penetration from the guards and wings. At that point, when that happens, our bigs are in a compromising position. We cannot continue to allow those guards and wings to get in the paint so easily. It leads to second chance opportunities, offensive rebounds for the opposing team, and it's just not good for us. So the last game against the Bucks, the Knicks were plus 22 in the rebounding category. Plus 22, a hustle stat. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't really feed into the whole thing about Randle being that bad of a defender. I think Randle is trying. The effort is there. But he's in the compromise. I'm just saying, let me finish. From my opinion, I just think that it is. He's himself, Nerlens Noel, Mitchell Robinson are in compromised positions because our guards and wings keep getting beat.
But I would agree with you if he was getting in foul trouble because he's trying to make those rotations. Like the eye test, you could see that, our guards are getting beat, and you could be able to see he's expending so much energy trying to rotate over because of so many people in the lane. He's not. And this is something is going back all the way through last season. He does not even attempt to play off the ball. Now, he was much more engaged the last game, and I think even the game in Milwaukee. If he continues that is great. But he hardly ever rotates over. So if you're going to give him a pass, let's give everybody a pass. He just has never been a good off-ball defender.
Yeah, I agree. I see too many times when a guy, guard penetrates and, Julius, all he's got to do is take 1 or 2 steps, get in front. That guard's going to be looking to kick the ball out, and he, kind of looks at him go past. Or even sometimes getting out on a rotation after he's been sucked into the defense, instead of running out, still getting out there with his hand up and contesting the shot, he'll take a step, say, I might as well stay in here for the rebound. You got to get out there, because even if you get out there and close out, he might be already in his shooting form. You get out and close out, he might take a quick look at you before he lets the ball go and take his eye off the rim, But
once again, listen, I can't defend lack of effort. That's not something I'm defending at all. But we have to remember what Tom Thibodeau's defense is about. Tom Thibodeau's defense is designed to prevent guards and wings from getting into the paint, right? And they want to force long jump shots. That's what the whole purpose of the defense is. Once the guards and wings are able to penetrate so easily, then the defense is completely compromised.
But you got to make an effort.
So I understand that, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not defending that part of it. But what I am saying is Julius Randle is not the reason why our defense has been bad. It's been the guards. I'm not saying you guys are saying that.
He's the reason why the defense is bad.
But he's not helping at all. He's not helping at all.
If only he made like a step or two, like Sim said, just mark the move. That might just made the whole defense, the whole offense, think about it twice. That's a split-second decision. And Josh, and I'm not saying that you said it, but I saw Julius Randle. I could find like 5 clips when someone went past, the guard or even RJ and went up from the dunk, and he just took a step aside. He like I wanted to say, he just made a business decision. He didn't want to be on that poster. He was like, looking from the side instead of just going, just risk that foul. You're gonna have the reputation around the league that they're gonna jump for it.
So you guys want Julius Randle more foul trouble? Is that what you're saying?
No.
It's not about wanting him in foul
if someone is.
So you trying to say if he plays defense, he's gonna get in foul trouble?
Are you saying that he's not playing defense at all? Which I don't agree with.
No. Only on help defense, Josh.
Defense.
Yeah, off ball help defense. Yeah.
Right.
And Josh, and I'm not saying no foul trouble. Just if he shows the effort, on that help defense, that would put that on the scouting report. That listen, if you go on the side while Julius is in, make 2-3 passes, he's not going to react. That might be game plans for teams. That really might be whole game plans for teams.
It might. Exactly.
I just want to say one last thing. In a game against Cleveland, right? A game against Cleveland, when again the guards and wings will get into the paint, right? Julius Randle, Nerlens Noel will come up to contest shots, and all Darius Garland, Ricky Rubio, and all these other guards had to do was just throw the ball off the glass, and there was easy buckets for Mobley and for Jared Allen.
But that's off of a screen and roll when he's switching onto the guard. I'm not talking about him switching onto the guard, right? We're talking about when even without a screen, just a guard penetrates to the basket on Julius Randle's side. Julius Randle might be down by the box. The guard penetrates to the basket. We need Julius Randle to step in, make that guard have to make a decision, and then when he dishes it out or kicks it to whomever, he's got to get back to his man. Or there's a lot of times when the guard penetrates and the ball gets kicked out to Julius Randle's man, and instead of trying to get out there and close out, he stays there and waits for the rebound.
He's a step slow on the closeouts. I definitely agree with that. But I wasn't talking about pick and roll. I was just talking about our guards and wings just getting beat off the dribble, and then that's what happens. Yeah. But we'll see.
No. Yeah. But the thing about it is he was the same way last year. So this is not new. It's just that the perimeter defense was better.
Right.
And now it's much more, you could see it much more because our perimeter defense is not great. And I think if our perimeter defense is not great, then you got to change up. You can't keep doing the same thing. Our perimeter defense is not great. What's next? I think Randle needs to get off the ball. I think we need him more defensively on those rotations than we do bringing the ball up.
Yeah. Because when your perimeter defense isn't good, it's porous, that means your rotations, everybody's rotations got to be on point. Randle helps. Somebody got to help Randle. Somebody got to help that person until everybody can recover. Let me get to a phone call. But before we get there, I just want to remind you guys, this is the Game Day pregame show, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you check out the Game Day. There's a link in the description of the video. There's a link pinned to the YouTube chat where you can check out their YouTube page. And what's the Game Day? Well, they give you the most up-to-date sports content and betting odds. So if you are better on sports games, check out the Game Day. There's a lot of content there that you will like and enjoy. Let me get to this caller right here. Caller, you live. Tell me your name and where you're from.
What's going on, Sim? It's Nick in Jersey City.
What's going on?
Shout
Nick?
out to Steph, Josh, and Andy.
How you feeling?
Appreciate you.
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. I think the Knicks are going to take advantage of the Bucks tonight on the back-to-back. You got to reestablish home court at Madison Square Garden. Last season the Knicks were 1-8 against the Sixers, the Bucks, and the Nets. And if they win tonight, they'll be 4-0 against those three teams. I mean, they haven't played the Nets yet, and it's just a good thing to get out ahead and get these early wins against these teams right now while teams are figuring things out. But yeah, I'm feeling confident about tonight. I think they're going to pull out the win. I think they're going to run them. Real quick, I just wanted to say something about RJ, and I'll hang up and let you guys talk it out. This is from Tommy Beer. RJ Barrett is only trailing Giannis. So Giannis is number 1 in the NBA in buckets in transition. And RJ Barrett is number 2 in the NBA in terms of field goals in transition.
Listen, RJ's been doing an excellent job of getting the ball off the glass, getting out on the break, recognizing where the lane is, and then going full-fledged and hitting that spot, getting to the hoop. He's been doing it. He's been excellent.
Absolutely. And when he gets to the line more than 5 times a game, he's been averaging 26 points a game on 58% shooting. And when he gets to the line less than 5 times a game, he's averaging 12 points a game on 36% shooting. So keep attacking the hoop,
Exactly.
Get to the line, and he's absolutely taking that next step, both on offense and defense.
Definitely. And that's what we need him to do. Continue to attack the hoop, score in transition. He's been playing a lot more with the second unit as well, which is giving him opportunities to, be the man without Julius Randle out there, and it's benefiting him big time.
Absolutely. They've been putting him at the 4 a little bit too. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah.
Tibbs has been playing him they've been playing small ball, not just with Randall at the 5 and Obi at the 4, but they've been doing some lineups out there with Rose or Kemba and IQ as the guards, and then Burks and RJ.
Yeah. And we had that discussion the other day about, how does that impact Obi? Because Tom Thibodeau said he likes what it looks like with RJ at the 4. So how's that impact Obi?
I mean, maybe gives him some time at the 5. I mean, I want to see, given how good RJ is out in the open court, and given how fast and how good Obi is out in the open court, I want to see them two out there together.
Hey, yeah. That maybe we'll get a chance to see it. Might get a chance to see it, see what it looks like. I think Thibodeau's probably got to trust Obi a little bit more to make sure he's out there on the floor with RJ, but. I'd like to see that. Obi at the 5, RJ at the 4 would be super small, but if we're playing another team that's small, might as well go for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Nick, I appreciate your time, man. Appreciate your call.
Take care, fellas. Bye.
Take care.
Can I make a quick comment about that?
Yeah.
I wasn't on the last show to make that comment. So, and that's what I was saying dating back to last year about RJ Barrett. He works well with that second unit because they're faster and they can get in transition a lot quicker. And that's been a part of RJ's game since he was in college, getting out in transition. Also, as far as RJ Barrett at the 4, I don't think it's going to happen tonight, not against Giannis. But I think that could be a really good move for RJ offensively. I think RJ Barrett can take advantage of slower power forwards, depending on the matchup, to get to the bucket, to knock down shots. I think that'll be an advantage for him going up against the slower forwards that you have in the NBA.
Right.
Don't know anybody in particular off the top of my head, but I think that could be a good thing for him.
Well, it doesn't necessarily be that he'd have to match up against Giannis at the 4 tonight, right? He could play 4 while he's, he can be on the floor with the bench unit, and Giannis is on the bench. Giannis is sitting, and he might play some 4 there. We'll see what happens. Because we are going to be light at the center spot. Well, there's a possibility that we're going to be light at the center spot. Mitchell Robinson and Nerlens Noel are both questionable for tonight. So we're looking at the possibility of Taj Gibson playing at the center spot, right, and going up against Bobby Portis. I think that matchup probably cancels itself out. Taj Gibson, I think, can play, he can defend Bobby Portis out on the wing. He can defend Bobby Portis if he decides to post up. Taj Gibson is they're both, tough players. Taj Gibson's a better rebounder. That's not a matchup. I think they cancel each other out for the most part. Steph, what do you think?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was a little preoccupied. But we're talking about RJ playing the 4.
The Taj Gibson and Bobby Portis matchup.
Bobby.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think that's fine. I think Taj can play out there on Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis takes advantage. I mean, he can put the ball on the floor. Don't get me wrong, he can do that. But I think Taj is going to be okay in that matchup. I think it would be better than actually Mitch. Because I think Taj is a bit more mobile. So in terms of the edge, though, I'm going to go Taj.
Taj. Okay.
I'm going to go Taj.
All right. Andy?
Yeah, if it's going to be that matchup, like you guys said, it's going to be Taj. But I'm still thinking if Netherlands is able to go, I think Tibbs is going to start Netherlands and put him on Giannis. And then Randall is going to be on Bobby Portis, to have a leeway on the defensive end.
Right.
And I think that's going to be the game plan. I think it's the shortest way out from, for Tibbs to use that. Unless, one of those big men from the Knicks gets in foul trouble, then he needs to switch it up and go versus Giannis with Randall. But I really think that Netherlands did such a great job that I'm not going to call Netherlands Noel a Giannis stopper. but listen, as far as I saw it, I was happy at basically every play on defense that Netherlands was versus Giannis. I was so proud of him that I was thinking about putting Netherlands on the poster behind me.
Right.
Yeah.
Josh, Taj, and Bobby Portis.
So I think Taj Gibson is our best, second best defender, and that's behind Nerlens Noel. I'm not even concerned about the shot blocking or lack thereof. We're missing Nerlens Noel. What I am concerned about is our lack of being able to hedge the pick and roll. Nerlens Noel and Taj Gibson do a phenomenal job against the pick and roll, and I think having them, out there to defend. To help, so to speak, help the guards and wings, I think that's beneficial for us. So if we don't have Nerlens, that's going to be a bummer, but I believe Taj is just as capable of doing it. The only thing is just limited minutes. He won't be playing this much, and then you got to figure out what kind of lineups you're going to use when Taj Gibson's not in the game. But as far as the matchup itself is concerned, I like us. I like Taj Gibson over Bobby Portis.
Okay. All right. Bobby Portis, we've seen some times when he gets hot. You know what I mean? Hopefully this isn't one of those times, but we've seen him get hot, and we've seen him get hot in Milwaukee. You know what I mean? So hopefully tonight, he takes it easy. He's cool. He's not getting too hot against the Knicks tonight. I want to take a look at some game charts and, what the team matchups look like and what the teams are doing so far this season. Of course, Milwaukee is 5-6 on the season. The Knicks are 7-4. And, that's disappointing for Milwaukee, a team that, has championship aspirations. That's definitely, it's disappointing for them, although they've dealt with a lot of injuries. They're averaging 107.7 points per game. The Knicks are averaging 111.7. Both teams around 46 rebounds. The Bucks, 21 assists. The Knicks, 22.5. I really thought the Knicks were going to average more assists than that this season, but we'll see what happens with the remainder of the season. The Bucks about 8 steals a game. The Knicks 7.4, about 6 blocks for the Knicks, 4.5 for the Bucks. Both teams around 12.7, 12.8 turnovers per game. Low turnover teams. The Knicks shoot 45% from the field, 36.5% from three, and 76% from the free throw line. While the Bucks are shooting 44% from the field, 34% from three, and 74% from the 3-point line. The Bucks average 42.5 points in the paint. The Knicks at 45.8. The Bucks only averaging 11.5 second chance points, while the Knicks are averaging 14.7. And the Bucks are averaging 13.6 fast break points, while the Knicks are averaging 12.1. This is, right now, as the current Bucks team is obviously different than last year because they're missing 3 starters, right? DiVincenzo, Chris Middleton, and Robin Lopez. Brooke Lopez, right? So they're missing 3 starters. Obviously, they're going to be a different team later on in the season, when they get those guys back, they'll be much better. Giannis leads them in scoring at 27.6 points per game. He also leads them in rebounds at 11.5 and in blocks at 5.8. Julius Randle's the same for the Knicks. He leads us in points, 22.5, 11 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. Giannis also leads them in blocks at 1.7 blocks per game. And the Knicks are led by Mitchell Robinson at 1.6. So in most of your essential stats, Giannis is leading the Bucks. It's crazy. But, for the Knicks, it's kind of the same way from, most of your essential stats. Julius Randle's leading us besides in the block category. So that's what we look like against the Milwaukee Bucks right now. And my keys to the game for tonight, I think we got to match their intensity. I think that's number one. They're going to come out desperate. They're 5-6 on the season. They want to even it up, get to 500. The Knicks, had one of their greatest comebacks as a team against the Milwaukee Bucks and had like a 50-something point turnaround against the Bucks. They were down by 21 and ended up taking a 20-something point lead or a 40-something point turnaround against the Bucks. The Bucks were embarrassed to have that happen to them at home. They want to return the favor to the Knicks at the Garden. So the Knicks got to come out and match their intensity. I think we got to find a way to defend the point of attack. That's the point guard spot. We got to find a way to defend it, not let guards get in the lane, get easy buckets, knock down wide open mid-range shots. I don't know what. My solution is to run a zone throughout the game, not the entire game, but certain points throughout the game, run some zone to help slow down that point of attack. Tom Thibodeau doesn't seem, too friendly to playing the zone. I think we got to close out on three-pointers, although they're not shooting that well from the season so far. They got guys that can shoot it. All right, so we definitely got to close out on those three-point shots. Even if the purpose of our defense is to defend the paint, I still think you can defend the paint and close out hard on three-point shooters. Right? You may not get there. They may get the shot off. Right? But you can make them think about it. Maybe make them rush it a little bit. But you got to close out. You can't just let them stand out there without anyone even in the area code. You know what I mean? Right. You got to make them think about those shots. Hit the boards. They're a team that so far isn't shooting well throughout the season. They may not shoot well tonight. So we got to hit the boards, make sure we're rebounding. All right. Defensive rebounds, grab offensive rebounds. Let's not let them, get boards, get defensive rebounds and get out and run. Let's grab some offensive rebounds. If we could do that, we can slow them down a little bit, not allow them to run. All right. We don't want Giannis getting out in transition. You heard, Giannis is number one. RJ Barrett's number two. We don't want Giannis getting out in any kind of transition on us. Then protect the lead. We get a lead, we got to protect it. Throughout the entire season, we've built double-digit leads, and we let them slip away. All right, we got to get a lead, protect the lead, and then in the fourth quarter, if it is a close game, good fourth quarter execution. Make sure we're executing down the stretch. We do those things, I think we give our chance to win tonight. Anything that you want to add to those matchups? Steph, I'll start with you.
Nothing I want to add, but I want to highlight defending the point of attack. That just creates, problems when we have to rotate, makes it hard we give up open shots, basically. Once guys start getting in the lane, it makes it hard to close out on the three-point shooters. And as far as the boards is concerned, if we're going to be without Mitch, if we're going to be without Noel, we're going to need gang rebounding. Everybody is going to have to stay in there and make sure we secure the rebound. And protecting the lead is something we've been talking about all season, and I get it. Teams make runs in the NBA, but we've had some pretty big ones and given them up. So we need timely stops. If we're not going to be a great defensive team, can we get timely stops? So we'll see. But yeah, I agree with all of them.
Yeah. Andy, anything you want to comment on or add?
Yes, and you basically hit it on the point with I was going to say rebounding, but you said hit the board. So it's basically the same thing. But I really think that versus this team, except the rebounding. I was thinking about the pace. If we really want to play a fast-paced game or just slow it down to take, like the tempo of the game away from the Bucks, because if they go on running, they can not only score in bunches, but they're really good also on the defensive end if you are trying to go fast. So and turn over the Knicks just to get the fast break, right? So I think that might be really important because the Knicks are in a mixed position here. Like I said before the Cavs game, I would love the Knicks to slow down the pace, and we tried the fast break, game in the first quarter even, and I was surprised about that because I was thinking that that's playing in favor for the Cavs offense, and we lost that game. So, I think the Knicks are basically, they should at least choose the pace and the tempo of the game versus certain opponents. And I think versus the Bucks, we would rather play a little bit slower pace than faster. And the rebounding can start the offense with a long pass, and we saw Fournier give those long passes. Julius can give those long passes, so that's going to favor the Knicks wings to go ahead and score an easy bucket. And Sim, just to highlight the thing that you are basically pushing for, the zone defense. I really think listen, and I played maybe not most, but like maybe 60% of my life in zone defense.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem with that point is that if one person maybe not slacks, but is just not putting the effort or is lacking the awareness in that kind of defense, you can just see it after 2-3 possessions, and you can go after it. And having Julius in that zone defense is like, bro, I would see it on each possession, and like after 2 possessions I would know what to do. And and I'm not a professional basketball player, but I would know what to do. I was close to playing professional basketball, but my coach taught us 2-3 things to look after. And if I look at Julius on the defense, I would notice it after 2-3 possessions versus the zone. So that would be an easy call versus NBA coaches. And maybe like back in 10 years back in the NBA, where zone defense was like new because they just changed the rule that you can play zone defense, maybe that would be an idea. But I think after several years and many European players in the league, I think this might not be the way to go with the Knicks. And that's what I think, that Tibbs doesn't want to even try it. But, I would try it just to see how it does go. But, I know that he would backpedal fast from it.
Be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to see what, I don't think Tibbs is ever going to try it, though. So,
Right.
Maybe in the Westchester Knicks.
Right. I don't think he's ever going to do it. Josh?
So, although I would like to see Tibbs, kind of mix it up on defense a little bit, I think his counter argument is always going to be if the team gives maximum effort or whatever the case may be, the Knicks can be able to stop teams. And I know that hasn't been the norm this season, but the last time we played the Bucks, we held them to 98 points. I think we held Philadelphia to how many points last night? The other night, less than 100, I believe.
Yeah.
So I mean that's going to be Tibbs' counter argument with that. But I totally agree with you guys on that from the defensive aspect. But Andy, I got to disagree with you a little bit about as far as the pace for tonight's game. In the last game against the Bucks, the Knicks rebounded the Bucks. The Knicks had more points in the paint than the Bucks. Dominated transition, and dominated second chance points. And I think that a team that it has a lot of injuries like the Bucks, I think it will be best for the Knicks to move faster and to get in transition a little bit earlier and to go. So that's what I would like to see this team do tonight. I do kind of hear what you're coming from about based on the matchup, but I think for this specific matchup against the Bucks, because they're depleted, I would rather them go fast and slow.
Okay. All right. We will see, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. What time is the game tonight? 7:30, right?
7:30.
Game is at 7:30. One more key matchup, I think, is going to be key to this game. We talked about R.J. Barrett and Grayson Allen a little bit, but Kemba Walker and Jrue Holiday, I think this is going to be a key matchup. Obviously, we're talking about defending the point of attack. Jrue Holiday is the Bucks' point of attack, as far as the point guard spot is concerned. Obviously, Giannis is their focal point, but that point guard position is normally the point of attack. Kemba Walker's got to be able to defend Jrue Holiday. And then Kemba Walker's our point of attack as far as the point guard position is concerned. He's got to make Jrue Holiday work. They're both averaging 12 points per game, 3 rebounds for Kemba, 4 for Jrue Holiday, 3 assists for Kemba, 3.8 for Jrue Holiday. Kemba's shooting 43% from the field. Jrue Holiday 44.4% from the field. Kemba's hitting the three-pointer at 45%. Jrue Holiday so far 38.1%. Kemba Walker 75% from the free throw line, and Jrue Holiday 66.7%. It looks like they even each other out, but I think this could really be a key. I kind of feel like whoever wins this matchup, maybe that team is going to win the game. Andy?
Yes, and 2 things. First thing about still this game, I think you need to add the first guy or the best guy off the bench so we can feel better about, D-Rose beating all of the 6 men in the league, basically. So we get that out of the way. And just in the last words, going out, and this is switching the topic certainly from the game. What do you guys think from the situation from the Denver Nuggets Miami Heat game with Jokic and Morris?
That was.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I figured you would love it. But.
Yeah.
Controversy, right?
Right.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it live, meaning on TV while it was happening. I thought it was both cheap shots, but I thought at least with Morris, you could see him coming.
Right.
I think with Jokic, it was right in the dead of the back. He couldn't see him coming. And for the coach to call out Morris and say it's a cheap shot and not call out his own player, I thought was crass. But it's unfortunate. How many games is he going to miss?
One.
Just
game.
One?
One game.
That's what happens when you're the MVP.
I mean,
one game.
What Morris did was uncalled for.
Absolutely.
But hitting in a minute, he could have ran up to him and ran up and got in front of his face and pushed him back or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just think doing it from the backside,
right?
Run up to him, get in front of his face, push him, punch him, whatever you want to do. I don't like doing it from the back either.
Yeah, he could have had whiplash. He could have really, really got hurt.
He could have.
Exactly. I was gonna say, because that kind of hit in the back when like you said, the whiplash on the neck. Those injuries are really bad, right?
Yeah.
But then again, listen, I'm happy because I'm happy. First thing, it's not about the Knicks and nobody got hurt, but I think Morris was milking that. He was laying on the ground like pretending they're gonna cart him off. Listen, it's like it's an NFL foul. But I'm happy that because they tried to punk him a little bit. I understand that basically the game was over and then the Nuggets were trying to rub it in the Heat. But listen, you can, if you want to take a foul, just take a foul, gather him, whatever, but don't try to to go in with the cheap shot, elbow and stuff like that. So I think that the Morris twins are trying to be tough guys, but I really think that was really uncalled for, and that's why it started. I think so. Jokic is not one of those guys that's going to try to get punked.
No, I agree. I think he should have stood up for himself. You know what I mean?
But not like that.
But just get up in his face and do it from the front. You know what I mean? Hit him in the back. I don't know.
It's a punk move. It's a punk move to hit somebody in the back. That's it. Get in his face. Punch him in the face. Whatever you feel like you want to do. Because Morris was
that would
out
be
of
more
line,
suspensions.
sure.
That would be more suspensions.
Right. Morris was definitely out of line. No doubt about it.
No doubt about it. He was out of line.
But blindsiding a guy.
Yeah. That's tough. But ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna head up out of here. Appreciate. Oh well, let me get your predictions before we go. Andy.
Listen, I don't know when this is gonna end, but I'm gonna call the Knicks win. So I hope they win every game. From now.
Right.
Yeah, but listen, till we dip under 500, I'm going to get those W's, stacked up. So no, but for real, I think because the like you said, the Bucks are missing 3 starters, and even if you can replace DiVincenzo easy, I think Brook Lopez and Middleton are not that easily replaceable.
Right.
Around the league, even not only on the Bucks roster. So I think that's a huge hit. And listen, we were talking about the Bucks that they're urgent to get a W and getting desperate. Then again, I think they realize that they are missing so many guys that there's not so much pressure if they would, for example, be the Brooklyn Nets or the New York Knicks or the Los Angeles Lakers. That would be way more pressure for them. They're just in Milwaukee, so no. Yeah. They can take an L, one more L, and then they can bounce back.
Right. Yeah. Steph?
Knicks win. They injured. They got players out. It is what it is. We need to take advantage of it, and I think we will.
Okay. Yeah, I think we will too. I don't know if they're going to blow them out, but I think the Knicks will win it tonight. I kind of agree with Andy. I think the Knicks somehow, some way got the Bucks number, at least during the regular season. I think they got their number. I think the Knicks pulled this one out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm head up out of here. See you on the post game tonight. Remember, you're watching the Game Day pregame show, ladies and gentlemen, for your most up-to-date sports news and betting odds. Make sure you check out the Game Day. The link is in the description of the video. You can check out their YouTube page. That link is in the description of the video. The link is also pinned to the YouTube chat. Make sure you go check them out, ladies and gentlemen. Give them a like, give them a sub. And with that said, we're up out of here. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.